All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for coming out. Happy to have you. We're going to relay some information about solar and hopefully it won't be too dry. A little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to go ahead and present first. My name is Demitria Gallaread. I'm an associate with the Chicago Bungalow Association. I'll basically just be giving an intro and overview about Illinois Solar for All. I'll touch on Illinois Shine a little bit. And then after me, we'll have Sunrun go, and then we'll have a presentation from Certasun, and they're both going to tell you about their offerings for both Illinois Solar for All, and they'll touch on Illinois Shines a bit. And then towards the end, we're going to have a Q&A session. Hopefully we'll have enough time. However, if we don't, we will be sending you a follow-up email that'll have, I believe, the recording, handout materials, and we'll also try to go ahead and answer those questions we didn't get a chance to answer during the webinar. And then a few other housekeeping things. Everyone is muted automatically once you join. And so you don't have to worry about noise coming through your end. That's our job today. The chat window is also going to be disabled. So if you have questions, direct those to the Q&A box. Yeah, and just a reminder, we'll be sending out a follow-up email. So if we don't get your questions answered today, hopefully we can get them answered in the future. Cool, let's jump in. So we're really happy to have you all joining us tonight. Many of you are familiar with the work that we do here at the Chicago Bungalow Association, specifically through our Energy Savers program. Many of you have been recipients of that work. That's all to say that we have long invested in fortifying both homes and communities across Chicago to not only withstand Chicago's varied climate, but to flourish in it while maintaining its aesthetic and historical value. So when we got the chance to share prospective solar opportunities with you, like, we really jumped at the chance. We know that through our work, community education, when communities are educated on the resources available to them, we see lasting and greater community support. It's why CBA works year-round to provide seminars, because we know knowledge is power. Our weatherization work consists of small, but we think life-changing updates to your existing housing structure, most of which, as we know, were built some time ago. It's an effective first step towards keeping your home's temperature comfortable and putting more money in your pockets. And then when you add solar to the bunch, it really magnifies the first two pillars. So we're excited to talk about this with you today. Our world is changing rather quickly. And as we begin to move away from fossil fuels, which currently makes up about 80% of our current energy usage, community movements advocating for solar ensure that all residents are equipped for energy changes. States across the US are working to expand the amount of solar being used in our everyday lives. And this push comes from our apparent overuse of fossil fuels or non-renewable resources, which are taking a considerable toll on both our health and the environment. So why solar? Why this push? Solar is not only one of the cleanest forms of energy, but it's also renewable. We, as far as I know, can't overuse the sun, so there's a lot of untapped potential there. Solar energy also means cleaner air, cleaner water, new jobs, and through incentive programs like the ones that Certasun and Sunrun are going to tell you about, we'll be able to also keep a little change in your pocket. So let's cover the two programs. Just want to make clear, there are two separate programs that we'll be talking about today. The first one, Illinois Shines, also known as the Adjustable Block Program. It is not income restrictive. So that means that it operates within the competitive solar market with a few tweaks made for predictability to benefit both the homeowner and energy companies alike. And we'll talk more about that later. The second program we'll be covering is Illinois Solar for All. Illinois Solar for All was specifically created for homeowners who were not at or below the 80% area median income. There's a chart up right now, and it's actually the chart for 2019. So in those follow-up emails, we'll send the new chart for 2020. But this chart basically shows you household size compared to household income. So for example, if you wanted to be eligible for Illinois Solar for All, you would have, and you had a household of 3, you would have to make at or below $64,200. So let's dig in. I want to cover a little bit about how we got here, how these programs came about. So since the early 2000s, the state of Illinois has been working to encourage and expand the development of solar by setting implementations for clean energy. In 2016, the Illinois Power Agency was created. The Illinois Power Agency was created in 2007, but in 2016, they decided to revamp the clean energy standards. So from the IPA, they created the Future Energy Jobs Act. The Future Energy Jobs Act boosted the IPA's resources and got the ball rolling on a plan that would revise our old clean energy programs. The plan that they put together to essentially make this happen was the Long-Term Renewable Resources Procurement Plan. This plan aimed to do 2 things. One is stimulate economic growth by creating jobs and having companies invest in the solar infrastructure of Illinois, and also increase participation in solar energy. They did that by diversifying affordability. The 2 programs that were basically created to implement that plan was Illinois Solar for All and Illinois Shines. The main thing to know about Illinois Solar for All is that it was specifically created to expand the solar market to income eligible communities. The program bridges the affordability gap by setting low or even no cost contracts for income eligible homeowners. This way, solar under Illinois Solar for All, the emphasis is on energy generated and not market fluctuations and prices. I'm going to show you a video about renewable energy credits. It's going to basically expand on how this structure works. So we're talking about a program, Illinois Solar for All, that's basically offering solar panels and solar installation for low cost or even no cost. And I kind of want to dig into why that is, how that is, where's the money, and how that money flows. So we're going to watch this.
Have you ever wondered, when you turn on your lights, where that electricity is coming from? In the United States, most electricity comes from coal, natural gas, and nuclear. And some renewable sources like hydropower, wind, and solar. No matter where electricity is generated, it is mixed together on the shared electricity grid. When you turn on your lights or your TV, you pull some of that electricity out. Once electricity is put on the grid, there's no way to know where it came from or how it was generated. All electricity is the same. If you want to green your power, though, you can do that with renewable energy certificates. These certificates are created each time 1 megawatt hour of renewable energy is generated and put on the grid. About what an average home uses in a month. The wind turbine spins, or the solar panel collects sunlight, and when enough electricity is generated, a certificate is created. The certificate proves that 1 megawatt hour of renewable energy was generated. And it embodies all the green, environmental benefits of that megawatt hour, including lower amounts of smog-causing pollution and greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. All of these benefits are included in the certificate. Whoever owns the certificate owns that megawatt hour of renewable energy. Certificates are used by states and the federal government to track use of renewable energy. They're also used by utility green power programs to track which customers receive green power. Because certificates provide the only means to know that 1 megawatt hour of renewable energy was generated on their behalf. When an individual or business buys a certificate, they're buying renewable energy and can claim all the environmental benefits of that megawatt hour. Certificates also allow wind and solar developers to build wherever the resources are, knowing they will be supported by customers from across the country. Renewable energy certificates work because cleaner air and water are worth something extra to all of us, and certificates allow us to buy these environmental benefits no matter where we live. They help bring us that much closer to true energy independence. Power from the sun, wind, and water. And that makes the future brighter for all of us.
Bear with me 1 second as I try to get back into presentation mode. Okay, so we just watched about something called renewable energy credits or certificates. It's interchangeable, but I really just want to touch on the fact that these credits or RECs are going to be used both in Illinois Shines and Illinois Solar for All. But this is really how this tracking system is how the state was able to create a system through Illinois Solar for All that bridged the gap between affordability and market value solar. And I'm going to illustrate it here for you on this chart. So just going to watch the solar generation flow and get an understanding of where we start with quotas and how we get to the homeowner. So the Illinois Power Agency essentially sets standards for clean energy per cycle. And then number two, the utility companies, they're going to monitor that energy, and it's done in a similar way as it's done now. So we use energy, utility companies track it, they send us bills we don't want to pay. Cool. The clean energy that you'll produce through solar, if you do get it installed in your home, is also going to be tracked through the utility company. They're going to measure your kilowattage, they're going to measure how much energy you're using. But the measurement of that energy that you created is going to start being understood through credits. And this is so that they can transfer or translate that into a dollar amount, because all of the energy that you produce can be translated into credits, and those credits have dollar amounts. So then the approved vendor is going to be on the front line, basically, of setting up that installation and overlooking your contracts. And then you, the homeowner, you're going to be sitting pretty, you're going to be generating energy at home, and you're going to be saving money. And we're going to talk about how those savings are going to come about. So now we're going to watch the rec flow. We're going to start number one with the homeowner, right? So your home, you're generating solar energy, and that solar energy is getting tracked, right, by both approved vendors and the utility contractors. Your approved vendor or your solar energy company who you sign up with, they want that energy produced because what they've already done is upfront, they've paid for the most part, either entirely or low cost. Sunrun and Certasun can talk about that, but they paid for the cost of installation for your solar energy equipment upfront. So they've done that. So they want to track how much solar energy you're creating. The utility companies are collecting those numbers and then reporting back to the IPA. So then what happens is that those RECs, those dollar amounts that's correlated with it, they get paid back to your approved vendor. And oftentimes the amount they're getting paid back is more than the cost it took them to install your situation. So they're both incentivized to set up installation and income eligible communities, and they're incentivized to do it well because they will be getting a profit off of that. And then you benefit from the system because you get low profit margins. And then a little bit about Illinois Shines. Essentially, the two programs work the same. The major difference between them is that Illinois Shines aim to transform like existing market value solar energy to be more stable for energy providers and consumers alike through long-term dependable contracts with no hidden fees or market fluctuations. So the emphasis there is on predictability and transparency. So if you were looking to sign up for either of these programs, you would follow these steps. You would, one, find an approved vendor, which is a little bit easier because we brought two of them to you today. That approved vendor will consult with you on your home to determine where your home's located, if it's in a sunny spot or not, whether your home, whether your roof is suitable, whether you currently use enough energy to guarantee savings when you switch to solar, and how long you plan on staying in your home. Your approved vendor will go through all of those questions with you, and they'll also create a document for you, which is called a disclosure agreement. The disclosure agreement isn't an official contract. It's like the contract before your contract, and it's meant to create a level of transparency so you know what you'll be signing up for, what the number of savings is, etc., before you even commit to doing this. And then you'll move forward and the vendor will install solar panels. The next few slides are just screenshots of the standard disclosure form. Just wanted you to get an idea of what that looks like. So like I said, this is before you sign a binding contract, and it's to give you an overview of what you'll be receiving through your contract. So you'll get to see summary of costs and savings. You'll see estimated monthly savings. You'll see your first year energy value savings. And it's important to remember when we use the term savings, when we talk about your contract for solar, your savings are going to be cumulative, right? So you're not necessarily going to see them from bill to bill, but if you sign a 15-year contract, you're going to be seeing a significant amount of savings over the time that you have that. And this makes sense because if you're gonna need energy either way, you might as well be a part of something long-term that ends up saving you money than costing you more money. You'll see things like your energy savings in dollars. You'll see just how long your installation lasts, and you'll also see whether your approved vendor will provide maintenance and warranties for that operation. And then you'll also see a chart like this, which covers the lowest estimate savings, the average estimate savings, and the highest estimate savings. And the idea here is that the predicted or calculated amount of savings you receive should not be lower than the lowest estimate. And if it is, it's likely that it won't be suggested that you go through and apply for solar with Illinois Solar for All. So we have three takeaways here. One is there are two programs. The first one is Illinois Shines, which is not income restrictive and operates in the standard market for solar. The second one is Illinois Solar for All, or ILSFA, which is specifically catered to income eligible homeowners. Two, you are protected. The updates both Illinois Solar for All and Illinois Shine came up with included a long list of consumer protections. It's like a whole pamphlet, and if you want to know more about that, feel free to reach out. These programs are really meant to benefit the homeowner. And then third, we're here to help. So the role that Chicago Bungalow Association plays in all of this is that we're an advocate for your solar journey. If you have any questions or don't feel comfortable presenting those questions to your approved vendor, then please reach out and contact us. All right, so that is the end of my presentation, and I'm going to pass it over to Certasun, sorry.
I'm up next,
Oh,
Demitria.
Sunrun, apologies. All right, we've got Bijay Morrison coming up, and she's going to tell you about what Sunrun's got going on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. All right, good evening. Thank you, Chicago Bungalow Association, for allowing me to be on the webinar this evening. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to be virtually in your homes. It's exciting. Solar is exciting, and I am thrilled that everyone is here taking their time to learn more. Sunrun, let me see if I can get my slide to work. Sunrun at a glance. We are the nation's leading residential solar provider. Our mission is to create a planet run by the sun. We were founded in 2007. We pioneered residential solar service here in America, and we began investing in the state of Illinois in 2017. We have over 233,000 customers, and we are in 22 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. So I want to go back a little bit and talk about like why we're here tonight. Why are we talking about solar? Solar is not a foreign principle, although rooftop solar is something that's new. I was thinking about how sun power is in my life right now. I was like, let's brainstorm. So everybody, let's think about ways the sun powers our lives right now for free. All right, so I thought about it earlier, and I was thinking about when I was a teenager, my mom used to embarrass me by drying our clothes outside on our balcony. That's one way that we utilize the sun for free. We saved money, we saved energy, and we're gonna continue doing that today with rooftop solar with Sunrun. So Sunrun, we are committed to building strong, diverse, and inclusive solar industry. So one of the ways that we do that is by partnering with organizations like CBA and with Blacks in Green to provide access to this revolutionary solar industry. Now is the time to go solar in Illinois. There are so many incentives for solar. Solar for All is just one. Demitria talks about Illinois Shines earlier. Solar for All is a part of a larger legislative package, the Future Energy Jobs Act, which passed in 2017. FEJA provides funding for training in a variety of jobs related to solar energy, so from inspection all the way to installation. The goal is to help people move from fossil fuel to renewable energy jobs and energy. Sunrun is dedicated to increasing access to solar. We have Illinois Shines for our general market, and we also utilize Solar for All for everyone else. Sunrun is the only approved vendor with a no-cost, fully prepaid lease program. So with Solar for All with Sunrun, qualified homeowners and renters have access to rooftop solar, 20 years of maintenance and warranties with no payment required for the energy that's produced on their home. So what does that mean exactly? Solar for All is a state-funded program that provides an incentive for solar systems that serve low-income individuals and environmental justice communities. These installed systems will help Illinois meet its clean energy goals and provide greater access to solar energy to low-income residents with incentives to make solar affordable. Everyone who participates has guaranteed savings. Who can participate? Demitria broke this down earlier. The numbers on her chart were a little different than what I have. Income eligible homeowners in single family residential properties must have an income of 80% or less of the area median On average, that's about $50,600 for a family of 2. Income eligibility, is verified by approved vendor, me, and validated by the administrator, Elevate Energy. If you are not eligible for Solar for All, please take a look at Illinois Shines. Taking a closer look at what Solar for All with Sunrun looks like, it's 0 upfront costs, no ongoing monthly payments. 100% of your energy savings are directly felt by the homeowner. So you'll have a return on your investment within your first ComEd bill once you turn on your system. The agreement is fully prepaid and it's between Sunrun and the homeowner. There are no upfront costs, no ongoing monthly payments. You will never pay Sunrun anything, you only pay ComEd. What's next? So in order to let me know that you're interested, please go to gosunrun.com/Bijouret-Morrison. That way you can fill out an interest form. I will get your information and we'll go from there. The next step is to review the Solar for All brochure. You're gonna work with me to verify that your income level qualifies you, and Sunrun is gonna send someone out to inspect your roof. We are considered an essential service, so there has not been any stalls in our installation. We wear PPE when we enter the home for site inspections. We follow CDC and OSHA standards, so we take every precaution necessary to protect ourselves and homeowners. If there is any questions, I will answer them at the end. But thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for listening. And again, please go to gosunrun.com/Bijouret-Morrison, and I will get to you within the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Bijouret. We appreciate that. Okay, so next up, we're going to have Jesse and Megan from Certasun. They're going to tell you what they're offering.
Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Jess Feinberg, and you can see my colleague Megan also on your screen. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about Certasun, what we're all about, and some of the what kind of equipment we install. And then Megan, who is our Solar for All coordinator, is going to take over and talk to you about the Certasun for All program. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So Certasun for All. Let me tell you about Certasun. Certasun is, as it says here, your hometown solar company. In early 2018, I helped found Certasun. So my partner Josh and I founded the company. We'd been in the solar industry myself for a few years, and Josh for actually about a decade, advising some of the largest solar companies on the planet. So actually, Sunrun was a client of ours before we founded Certasun. So were other leading solar companies in the United States and around the world. We were always based in Chicago. I'm a native Chicagoan. And when the Future Energy Jobs Act was passed, we jumped on the opportunity to build a solar company right in our own backyard. I myself actually still live in the city. Certasun's main warehouse is located in the suburbs in Buffalo Grove. And in the 2.5 years that Certasun has been in business, we've grown into a 50-person company, and as you can see here, with close to 1,000 customers. And you can see in these two pictures, actually Rodrigo right here, he's one of our lead installers. And throughout this presentation, you're going to see photos of Certasun for All, meaning Illinois Solar for All systems that have been installed in Chicago. And so you can see one here installed on South Lapham. So what makes Certasun unique? I think there are a few things, but one of them is that we're with you from start to finish. So when Josh and I founded Certasun, we had spent, a lot of years working with other solar companies, and we knew when we built Certasun exactly how we wanted to build it. And so when you reach out to us, and Megan, who you can, again, is going to be joining or speaking in just a few minutes, she'll be your solar consultant. She'll be the person who works with you. And when you, if you decide to work with us, our team, our electricians, our installers will be the folks who are actually doing the installation on your roof. And these are people that I know personally, that Megan knows personally. This installation that you see right here, I was at that installation. I might have taken this photo myself. I can't remember. But we're a close-knit company where everyone knows everyone. And what that means is that if we talk to you about something, there's a level of accountability that goes from the first moment you talk to us until the very last panel goes on your roof, and then for the next 15 plus years of your agreement with us. The result of all that is we have customers who absolutely love working with us. And I've taken a screenshot here of our Google reviews. You can look up Certasun in other places too, but you can see there are 113 reviews. These are all from Chicago area customers, many of them Chicagoans. And we've got, 4.9 plus average. Our customers have just had a great experience with us. It's something that we really pride ourselves on, is providing, that exceptionally high level of customer service. And, we really hope that when you work with Certasun, that you have that level of experience as well. And, if you don't, you know where to find me. Let me tell you about the equipment that we installed. I think this is another feature that really makes Certasun an exceptional company. And that's that we only install panels from SunPower. So SunPower is the world's leading manufacturer of solar. There are more SunPower panels on rooftops, on residential rooftops, than any other panel in the world. So there are, it's actually 600,000 homeowners have SunPower panels installed on their roof. And there's a really great reason for that. SunPower panels are the most efficient panels on the market. So what you're looking at here is a chart of panel efficiency, and SunPower is at the very top. And I think panel efficiency is something that's really important because, what we're essentially saying is how much energy can a panel produce on your roof? And in Chicago, unlike, places like California, maybe rooftops aren't as big, maybe parts of them are shaded. And a panel that produces more energy is a panel that saves you more money. SunPower is also an American company. And they have some other attributes, which I've listed here, that I think make them really outstanding equipment to put on your roof. I want to jump into another Chicago-specific feature that I think is really important. As we all know, Chicago winters are cold, and these panels are going to be sitting on your roof. What's important about solar equipment is to make sure that it lasts for the length of certainly the length of the agreement, but also lasts, to save you money, year in and year out. And SunPower panels are built to last. And so I don't want to get into a super technical discussion here, but the solar cells, which you see pictured here, which make up the panel, have this solid copper backing on the underside, which provides a level of stability to the panels, or to the cells rather, that makes them last and reduces their breakage. A lot of people imagine that solar panels break when, like hail hits them or something like that. The main reason that solar panels might break is because of big swings in temperature. And again, as we all know, Chicago's got some pretty big swings in temperature. These panels on your roof will last a really long time. Their warranty is actually for 25 years, and that's on the panels, the inverters, and the racking, which are the other components of the system. Even NASA uses sun power. So this is a NASA rover. I believe this is it's either in, I think it's in the Arctic, where they were doing testing, and NASA uses sun power panels to power that rover. It's pretty cool. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is share a video that highlights some of the Certasun for All installations. The video is embedded here, but I'm going to switch to a different view of that and hit play.
Thanks to new state incentives, Certasun is now able to bring rooftop solar to even more homes with Certasun for All. This program allows qualified Chicago homeowners to go solar for free with no installation costs or ongoing charges. Our Certasun for All participants are excited about the savings from their new panels.
First of all, it's natural. It's coming from the sun. It doesn't cost you anything.
It is an income saver, sort of speak. It will allow people to save on their utilities, on the expenses.
With Solar for All, we're getting our energy. We will be getting our energy from natural resources, so that makes it even better. So that helps us financially. Certasun for All is possible because of Illinois Solar for All, a state program that allows Illinois families who meet income requirements to go solar with no upfront cost.
It makes me feel happy because these people are getting the system for free. With this, they are helping our planet. Personally, it means a lot to me because I think the people who participate in this program can really benefit. I'm really happy to be doing this here on the south side of Chicago.
Certasun was the first to install rooftop solar systems under the Illinois Solar for All program. All of these new solar systems are located on the south side of Chicago, and many of these installations are the first solar systems in their neighborhoods. We are happy to see solar in Chicago and hope to install more systems soon.
Great. So I think I've turned off my screen share here. Thanks everyone for watching that video. Thank you again for your time this evening. I want to hand things over now to Megan, who's going to tell you more about the Certasun for All program and how that all works.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Jess, and thank you to the Chicago Bungalow Association for hosting this presentation for us. You can see a fun picture of me here. I was playing miniature golf with some of my coworkers, and I find it's relative because I helped my coworkers all score a hole-in-one during this game. This picture is when I actually scored one for myself as well. But I just think that really speaks to my general spirit. I want to help people and help other people feel good about what they're doing. So I've been working with Certasun since 2019 and helping homeowners go solar and design the solar systems that they're wanting to put on their roofs. And I really enjoy helping them to save money as well as help the environment. And I've stepped up to also do the coordination for the Certasun for All program because I believe that everyone in all communities should be able to benefit from solar. So the favorite thing that I have about this program is that it's very easy. It's very simple. So we start off with just a quick phone conversation where I'll ask you a handful of questions to see if you qualify on a more general level before even going through all of the documentation. And throughout the rest of the process, we do most of it virtually. And I help to fill out paperwork with you and answer any questions that you have along the way.
So thank you. That was wonderful. There
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a few more slides. I'm just stuck on that one. There we go.
Ignore me. Continue, please.
That's all right. So Certasun for All in particular is the Certasun version of the Illinois Solar for All program. It's our program underneath that umbrella. And something that makes us different is that we are offering a completely free program to homeowners who qualify. So it is the solar system itself is free, as well as the installation. And the agreement is for 15.5 years. And you don't have to pay anything during that time, but it means that you're paying significantly less in your electric bills. All right. So our installations, the Certasun installations are the only ones that have been completed in Chicago and Illinois. And the Earls system, so we have Deborah and Greg Earl, were one of the first installations that were completed earlier this summer. And Deborah actually wanted to join us this evening to join in on the Q&A and to share a bit about her experience, but she was taking part in a leadership course this evening. So she sends her regards and encourages other people to go with Certasun for All. But we also have 4 more installations that are scheduled to be completed later this summer. So how does this program actually work? What does it actually look like for homeowners? We go through this qualification process and the application process. And once your system is installed, we're putting that system up there. It's going to start generating electricity for your home, and you're going to use whatever you need. And we are going to then get your solar system producing as much electricity for your home as possible. We can get your bill down hopefully as low as $17, and that's if we can cover 100% of your electricity. There's always a little bit of a charge through ComEd. But there are some limitations there depending on your roof and how many panels we can fit. So I will walk you through that part of the process as well while we're looking at digital images of your roof. And the good thing about the solar program in Illinois is as long as you are connected to ComEd, if your solar system's not producing enough electricity, then you just buy the remainder from ComEd. But we prefer to design systems where you don't have to rely on ComEd for all of your electricity. So again, the Certasun for All program is 100% free for our qualifying homeowners. This is one of the actual installations that we did on South Euclid that was completed earlier this summer. So my role in this program is to help determine if you're eligible. And I'll ask questions like, do you own your home? And is your home in Chicago? So we're focusing on this outside of Chicago. But along that process, if it turns out that you don't qualify, I also work through the Illinois Shines program. And in the same conversation, we can switch gears and talk about what other options are available to you, because you could still see some significant savings by going solar, even if it's not through the Certasun for All program. So to start your application, you can visit certasun.com/all, or you can call the number on this page of 312-262-2058, and we will get you started. We'll get you set up with a phone consultation to meet with me, and yeah, see if we can get some free solar on your roof. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this evening, and I'll pass it back to Demitria now for the Q&A.
Awesome. Not interrupting this time. Thank you so much for sharing. So let's enter into the Q&A. We've got some really good questions in the queue. This first one, I'm going to toss it up to any of you who feel like you have a good answer. There's questions about warranty and the length of the contracts. This one says, one second, sorry. What happens in the event that the vendor goes out of business during the lease period? And then the other one is it under warranty? What happens if the solar panels are damaged? Who is responsible for the repairs and the replacement? So I'll throw those up together.
Sunrun isn't going out of business anytime soon. We are like the #1 solar company in the nation. So if anything, like we just bought the second leading solar company. So we're just getting bigger, like Pac-Man. Warranty, our warranty is for 25 years. It's for the inverter and for the panels. If there's anything that happens throughout that time, Sunrun will replace them at no cost.
Yeah, I can also chime in there. I think it's important to observe that, I mean, it's obviously possible that any company can go out of business. These are unpredictable times, and I think that's a totally reasonable question. I think what's great about this program is you've never paid anything to have the system installed, and the expected useful life of the sun power panels is 40 years. It's a maintenance-free system. There's really nothing that you need to do. There are no moving parts. And so in the unfortunate event that any solar company goes out of business, I actually don't think that there's really much of an impact on any homeowner. And then as far as the second question was about the term of the agreement, was that right?
Right, right. And what happens after 15 years? Why is it 15 years?
Yeah, so our agreement is for 15.5 years because that is the term during which we have to deliver RECs, like Demitria was explaining to ComEd. But I think as a homeowner, having an agreement that lasts, a long time, 15 or 20 years, that's a good thing because, I mean, you're getting free electricity.
And
to speak to what happens, sorry, Demitria, what happens after the agreement, after the length of the initial term for Sunrun is 20 years. For Sunrun, you can do 4 things. You can buy the system at the end of the agreement. You can renew it, so you can continue the agreement on for an additional 10 years as long as your system is still working. Or you can upgrade your system, or you can have it removed at no cost.
And it's
we have the same option. Yeah.
With Certasun, yeah. So you have the opportunity to purchase the system at the end, and it's obviously a very reduced rate from the initial cost of the system. You do have the option to extend, or we can come and take the panels off of your home for you.
Yeah. And when Megan says the initial cost of the system, that would be if we were selling it to an Illinois Shines customer. Under Solar for All, there is no initial cost.
thank you. And then can both Certasun and Sunrun talk about your restrictions around types of roofs that you install solar on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we install primarily on asphalt shingle roofs. And there are restrictions around, we're not going to do an installation if it's a slate roof or if it's some sort of tile or clay. So asphalt shingle, which fortunately is the typical type of roof here. And then if the roof has too steep of a pitch, then we might not be able to install for safety reasons.
Same here with Sunrun. We do not install on flat roofs. Most of the roofs that we work are comp shingle, which I believe is pretty basic type of shingle. And we do not install on roofs that are too steep because it's dangerous for our installers.
Yeah. one quick addition. Certasun does install on flat roofs. I actually have a flat roof myself with a system and obviously installed by my company. But we don't offer flat roof installations under the Solar for All program. So we do offer those for the Illinois Shines program, and just important to mention that.
Let's see. Can you talk about work? There seem to be a few questions that indicate that there's a notion that solar panels are only being installed on the south side. Can you talk about what parts of Chicago you have installed, where you do install?
So all of our Solar for All installations, sorry, Megan, we're obviously gonna, all of our Solar for All installations are on the south side. We will do Solar for All installations anywhere in the city of Chicago, but we only do it in the city of Chicago. We've installed all over the city for Illinois Shines. It just happens that the Solar for All systems we've done were on the south side.
And I think to add to that, Illinois Solar for All has provided a environmental justice map where you can look up if whatever neighborhood you're in, no matter where in Chicago, whether it's considered that, and you can look up what that means and the income eligibility for that. So it just happens that a lot of the income eligible communities and environmental justice communities are on the south side, but these areas exist all over Chicago.
We're all over. We're in the suburbs and in the city.
Thank you. We also have some questions about the correlation between solar and dirty electricity. Does that ring a bell for anyone? Does anyone have comments on that?
I don't know what that means.
I mean, dirty electricity is what we're trying to get away from.
Right. Okay, well, we'll move past that one. This person asked, they're not exactly looking for solar for like savings, but they're looking for solar for stability, to kind of not be affected by power outages, things like that are happening in California. So what can you say about solar stability?
Yeah, so when you have a solar system that is connected to ComEd through net metering, the way that the systems would be through the Certasun for All or Illinois Solar for All programs, if there's a power outage in your neighborhood and your home loses electricity, your solar system does shut down as well. In order to circumvent that, you would have to have a battery backup or an electricity storage system, which is something that's not included standard with the system.
Do you have price points for batteries? How much do they typically cost a homeowner?
A lot.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's like 6,000 to 8,000 to start off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
But outside of the power outage we had the other day, I don't recall a time when Chicagoans are without electricity. I don't think that's something that we should really put a lot of emphasis on. With like extra storage, we don't need it. Like if you have a blackout or a brownout, it'll last a day at most. Yeah,
that's important to note. A hypothetical that isn't really applicable to the infrastructure of Chicago. Important to keep in mind. How long is the process before you know you are approved?
Certasun?
Yeah, so I mean, we started, Certasun, got involved in this program at the very beginning, and for our earliest customers, it took them quite a while because the program was still, getting sorted out. We had some customers sign up more recently, and the process was quite a bit quicker. We estimate for any solar customer in the state whether they're participating in Illinois Solar for All or Illinois Shines, the time from the moment an installation agreement is signed through to installation is about 90 days. It can obviously vary depending on the permitting process, but it's about 90 days. Under Illinois Solar for All, we obviously need to get the project approved by the program administrator, and that can have an impact on the timeline as well. But for someone looking to move forward right now, there would be a qualification process. We'd be looking at probably an installation around January would be my best guess.
I would second that note. It is a new program for Sunrun as well as for Illinois Solar for All. So it is time consuming. There are built-in, a time schedule that's built in for customer protection. So it takes at least about 2 weeks from the time that I get an interest form to the time where we submit our projects. After that, it's all in Illinois Solar for All's hands, and it takes a while.
Yeah.
There are a couple of questions about the fact that this is a state initiative. I believe that's specifically for like Illinois Solar for All, especially. There's questions about funding. So how long will this funding last? Is there a chance that the funding could be lost, right? And then also, in addition to that, is there a chance of credits being devalued over time?
I will say that Demitria said earlier that knowledge is power, and sharing the information that we learned today. If you are not eligible, please let other people know about it. That way we can use the money before it goes away, if it possibly does. Like, it's first come, first serve. So if you know about it and you're interested, apply.
And I believe I've heard this talked about as basically a pie, and that there are slices of it. And I'm not sure if that means that the money has already been allotted, so it can't be touched. And we're working off of that.
I've heard that, but.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's important for anyone thinking about solar to keep two things in mind, and especially for Solar for All. There are incentives available right now that enable Sunrun and Certasun to make this offer, and those incentives do not last forever. Mm-hmm. But the way all of these programs are designed, they're designed so that when you sign an agreement to have a system installed, we reserve the incentives before we go ahead with the project. Mm-hmm. And so if you decide to work with one of us, with Sunrun or with Certasun, there's not any risk on you that the system's somehow going to be installed and then the funding is going to disappear. The incentives, like your portion of them that ultimately go to Certasun or Sunrun to enable your system to be free, those are reserved, at the very beginning of the process. Mm-hmm. So you should definitely, talk to us, talk to Sunrun, talk to folks about solar, because these incentives will not last forever, but you can be confident in your decision that the incentives were available for you in particular at the time you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Yeah, there are protections. Illinois Solar for All has made it so that for the 20 years, customers, once they sign up, will not have any cost associated with it. So if in year 15 something happens, you're protected for 5 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To reiterate, it sounds kind of unbelievable, right? But it's important to remember that there's a large packet of consumer protections that you can read through. And it really does certify that these approved vendors who are part of this program, they've been heavily vetted, right? They have to apply to these consumer protections. And so when they enter into these agreements with you, they are agreeing to protect the consumer. And those things are really outlined in specific detail, both in the disclosure form that you receive before you sign your contract and in these consumer protections.
Yep.
All right.
How about come through, sun? Does anybody else see the sun over here?
Let's get solar.
Yes.
I think that covers the questions that we have. Are there any remaining comments from y'all that you want to put out there?
No, this has been great. I really loved learning about Certasun. I saw one of my colleagues in the video there, Kevin. We learned how to install together, so I was all excited. Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would just say thank you everyone for joining. Oh, Megan, why don't you go ahead, please?
Sorry. I was just going to say again, thank you everybody for joining, and to the Chicago Bungalow Association for hosting this. But really, any questions that you have, and if you feel that your questions are very specific to you, you can look for the email that will be coming out. But you can also give us a call. I'm happy to talk through any questions that you have and see if this is something that would work for you.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jesse.
I was just going to say, I completely agree with everything Megan said. We will, the presentation that we showed you all, we'll make sure that that gets sent out, or it gets sent over to the Bungalow Association so that you all have it, you know, just for your reference.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And are we sending yours over as well, Bijure? I forget if you said that.
Yes, please. Go sunrun.com/Bijure Morrison. Yes.
Awesome.
Let's go solar.
Well, thank you all. It was such a delight. Hope that everyone who joined us today, you're leaving feeling informed and with a newfound passion for solar energy. So thank you all. Have a good evening.
Good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.